And okay, so perhaps we'll go through the agenda. So Michael Lee, who's a UX designer, is not on the call. I'll just voice it. Bonjour and bienvenue. Hello and welcome, Marie-Christine. Next one is...
Yeah, just so for the people watching the recording, we just had that section before we started recording, just so it didn't seem like we just breezed through that.
Yeah, we just had a big introduction. Thank you.
Go to the second.
And it's nice to meet everyone who watches the recording.
The next one is big picture updates, also from Michael. While updating our direction page, his lengthy merge request, I recommend we update our future vision of what source code management will focus on in high-level terms and all themes or epics. With the holiday season approaching and a new product manager, perhaps a planning session in January, or should we do something earlier in mid-December? Great question. Maybe
yeah, I'll leave the timing up to you and Andre and Marie and the team for when you think that it's necessary. I will be going in there today and updating some stuff on the direction page and seeing if we can't get that MR merged. But yeah, I think that it would be good to have a larger planning session just so that if Marie does want to switch course from what I was doing, or if there's anything new that comes up that you need to focus on, I think that the beginning of the year would be a really good time to do it, considering that our fiscal year starts in February. So that would basically be setting up planning for the next fiscal year.
Right. Marcin, you have the next item.
Yep. So there's a repost from the Slang group, but let me share it here again. So as part of technical writing OKR for this quarter, we are working on updating certain documentation pages, not for style like we've been doing for the past couple of quarters, but verifying their technical correctness. And for source code, I proposed, or rather, I don't know, I initially picked to work on merge request approval rules. And I'm sharing here, and I pinged Derek originally in Slack because for some of those like task or concept topics, so the parts of the doc that explain the why behind things, we should work with the PM. So here the PM leads updating this. So yeah, in Slack, Michael commented that this would be a good page to work on because I'm still fairly new to source code myself, the group. So I would get familiarized with this feature more hands-on because it seems like there's work in the pipeline to adding new features around that. It's just, it's more an FYI for you. And, if you have any other pages that stand out to you that haven't been touched in a while, let me know. And then the last link in my comment is a Google Sheet that lists 15%, the top 15% of our docs pages that in total receive 80% of all views. And so out of those, the link points at the tab with create docs. So if you want to get familiarized with those. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a good page to focus on. I'm trying to think if I've heard of any other complaints about other pages. I don't think so, but I'll go back and look through and see if I can figure anything else out that maybe would need to be focused on as well. But that is one of the areas of source code that gets the most attention when I'm talking to customers. So I think that would be a good one to focus on.
Cool. Thanks.
Derek, and maybe one of the things that consistently comes up with customers or bugs or questions is mirroring. I don't know the state of mirroring docs, but that's probably one of the things you might want to take a look at in case it needs a little tweak.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Paulina?
Sure.
I guess we're done with that.
Yeah. So also FYI from me. So I was originally assigned to issues from the Epic on the approvals. That would be like step 4 and 5 of implementation, but we realized last week that we never created the issue for step 3. I met with Jack and we looked at the current state of the components, and there's potential to make them reusable for both groups and projects, but there's also need for some restructuring without that directory and like scoping how much work will be needed and how much actually we can reuse. So that's why we have a spike that place in this month. Those 2 issues will be then after the spike.
Okay, yeah, there's still quite a bit of back-end work going on in support of that as well. I think there's 3 or 4 issues being worked on at the moment.
Yeah, I placed those 2 issues that were postponed to consideration for 16.8. So we should be like after the outcome of the spike, we can make a decision there if it's valid or not. But thanks for tweaking and updating the plan.
Yeah, thanks.
Martin, I noticed you had added a point to your previous. Do you want to go back to that one?
Sure. Yeah. So as you, Andre, mentioned, feedback about specific doc pages. I remembered that before we got that KR created for the tech writers, our management asked us to collect info or links to issues on docs feedback on outdated information, and so I linked that spreadsheet also for you. The source code docs that are there showed up probably because, like looking at the notes, they showed up because they have images that come from GitLab 12 and 13, which are a couple major releases back. And we know that because we we append GitLab version names to the images, but we can take that as a sign that they haven't been reviewed thoroughly in some time.
Thank you.
So,
anything else? You good?
good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Next one is Michael, also not in attendance. So yeah, workflow wise, he wanted to bring up the meeting time change for the sync call to make it weekly. Happy to propose a time once Marie finds the working hours she's comfortable with. So should we table this for the moment and come back to this in upcoming weeks? Might be
Probably,
worth
yeah.
it. Yeah, because we have an alternating time between this and the next, and like every other week it changes the time to make it more convenient. But to make it convenient to Michael, it's not convenient to Marie. So let's keep it for the time being, and then we'll update it once we have Marie settled in. Sean, you have the next one.
Yeah, so we'll start the bit of an early start, but we'll start 16.8 milestone planning next week in terms of creating the we have an issue and then we have a number of issue boards. Ari, I'll schedule a call with you next week and kind of walk you through that process once you're on the ground. There's no rush. We actually have 2 weeks to plan the milestone, so we normally kind of do it in the last week. So just to kind of get a bit of a heads up on that. And Andre, do you have something?
Yeah, just because so we just changed recently the timing of the milestones, and we now don't start always on the same day. And when you mentioned that, immediately my mind went to when does it start? So I just wanted to bring everybody up to that, the timing, and also I'm going to put the link here to an issue that we've been using to keep track of the dates within the create stage. Where's the agenda? All right. So if you want to bookmark that issue, I think it's going to come in very handy for the future you when you're trying to assess when the milestone starts and ends. That's where it has the start, the engineering cutoff, and then the release day. I think that's what it has. So this has come up plenty of days, and especially with the planning, knowing how many days we have in the milestone. Yeah, we're going to keep updating that issue at least for the time being. So you might want to use that.
Thank you, Andre.
You're
Does
welcome.
anyone else have anything else to add?
No,
Great.
just yeah, we'll set up coffee chats with Marie around the team over the next couple of. We'll let you figuring out when it's time for us to start having the chats, but we're all around. All right.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just going through like the logistics of the onboarding right now, but like I'm actually excited to dive in and set up time with everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah, we normally give people quite a few days to get through the onboarding issue because it's pretty massive. So
This is
no
what
rush.
everyone has been telling me. So I'm taking it one step at a time. At this point, I started yesterday, so
Great idea.
so
You know, I thought the onboarding issue was long when I started in 2018. It's gone like 5 times longer since then. So yeah, I sympathize. Good luck with that. But it's pretty useful, I must say. It's pretty useful. Cool.
Right. I'll stop.
That's it.
So thank you very much, everybody. Stop.